Welcome to another edition of Double Take Sports Talk. Coming up on the show, we are going to talk about coaching moves and possibilities, being Nate McMillan, Frank Vogel, and Scott Skiles. Where would these coaches be at? Will they stay with their prospective teams? What happens? We will talk about that coming up on the show. Also, we'll talk about the Western and the Eastern Conference Finals predictions. Who do we think is going to make it to the NBA Finals? OKC or Golden State for the West, and for the East, the Raptors or the Cavs? We'll discuss that also later in the show. And Tom Coughlin returning to the NFL. What would it take for him to return after he announced that he resigned for the New York Giants? We'll also discuss that later on and for today's show. Welcome again to Double Take Sports Talk. I am Darren Watts alongside Darrell Watts.
All right, what's going on? What's up?
Not much.
How you doing? All right, you hanging in there?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to get this party started.
Ready to get this party started.
Let's do this.
Do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's start with our rundown. Let's get a quick rundown, quick couple debates in as a warm-up. The rundown. Russell Wilson reported that his college coach said that he would not play in the NFL. Has he proven that, and what has he done to prove that? Because a lot of people would sit there and look at people in the face and say he has not proven anything.
Okay. Super Bowl ring. That proves it.
Check.
Check. What else more do you need?
What else more do you need?
He has proven that he has put his stamp in the NFL. And this idiot of a coach that said that, I don't know where his mind was, or if he's stressed about accusations or whatever. I don't know. But he just really just put the man down for no reason, especially a college football coach?
A college football coach.
Yeah. He really just turned him down like if he was just bad cake.
And yesterday's garbage. At that.
One ring. That's all it proves to me.
Here's what else proves it for me. NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month for the month of December 2012. 5-time NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Pepsi NFL Rookie of the Year, Week 10, 2012. Offensive Player of the Year finalist, just this past season. And the Good Guy Award, 2014. And the 3-time FedEx Air Player of the Week. And for the NFL, his records. Most passing touchdowns in a season by a rookie. He tied Peyton Manning for that. Best touchdown pass interception differential difference in his rookie season. Plus 16 on his side, being 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Most passing yards in the playoff game by a rookie with 385. Most regular season wins by a quarterback in the first 2 seasons, which is 24. Most wins in his first 2 seasons, 28, including the playoffs. Do we need to keep on? I have a whole list. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean,
that's enough to prove
right there.
That he is an efficient NFL player. Again, the previous episode. You do not want to have a cat named Jamarcus Russell. Again. But yet still, a man that has accomplished himself and put God first.
Yes.
He's no good. But yet still, Jamarcus Russell ain't done nothing.
Ain't done jack.
3 seasons, thrown anywhere between an average of 70 to 170 yards a game, is not an efficient quarterback. If anybody is not an efficient quarterback, it is him.
Man.
If anybody did not make it to the NFL, it's him. 3 seasons, ain't heard jack crap from him.
And wants to come back.
What you gonna come back as?
You're not coming back with that type of stat line.
No, you're not coming back as a head coach, associate coach, quarterbacks coach, running back coach, defensive line coach, defensive backs coach. You're not coming back and forget it. Forget it.
Yeah.
Find your stint elsewhere. Make a podcast like me and Gerald do it. That's your best shot.
Yeah.
That is your best shot.
Give a good place to make podcasts.
Yeah.
Heinz Ward.
Heinz Ward. Thank you. I was afraid to say that because I had the paper and I just forgot what I did with it.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal. Dr. O'Neal. I call him Dr. O'Neal now because I think he deserves Dr. O'Neal after,
Yeah, after all that
hard work that he did. Yeah, Dr. O'Neal. He's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, not even just basketball and football players. You have a WWE player such as Chris Jericho and somebody else. I want to say it was Randy Orton, but it may not have been him. I think it was somebody else. But there are other opportunities in the world, and obviously Jamarcus Russell, you're just not an NFL elite player.
Ric Flair.
Thank you, Ric Flair. Thank you. I knew it was somebody. It's Ric Flair. Because I sat down sitting there thinking somebody else for the WWE is doing a podcast. I just remember it was Ric Flair. It was Ric Flair.
Oh, I looked. Because I'm trying to see where Jamarcus Russell's going to fit in that slot somewhere.
I mean, you have no advice to give based on how to be an elite quarterback. Because you was not one yourself. You threw more. You have more of a interception touchdown ratio than you do a touchdown interception ratio.
Or a turnover.
Mm-hmm.
And either way, you look at that. That's not a good stat to add to your name, man.
Mm-mm. Don't nobody want
With the accomplishments of Russell Wilson, throughout this segment to this talking about Russell Wilson, if I happen to say Russell Westbrook, y'all know what I mean. I meant to say Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I might have done it myself.
So yeah, you never know what happens when you're in the zone.
Right.
But when you look at accomplishments from Russell Wilson and what he has done his rookie year all the way up to now, them are the kind of stats and accomplishments that you would want to prove your coach is wrong on, especially if they don't put you down. And now we don't know what Russell Wilson has been throughout his high school years, his college years, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We don't know what he's been through. Of course, we know that he has transferred, schools at that time. He had played 3 years in one school and then played his final year, in another school. But we don't know what he has been through for that to be and what his coach had to say about that.
Right.
He would not be able to. That he would not play football.
And that's true too. That's true too. Yeah.
So maybe he wanted to prove that point. Look, man, just because I didn't win you a title or a BS title or whatever it is, in the collegiate level, that don't mean I can go to the NFL and win one.
Yeah. Because a lot of players come out to be more efficient as an NFL player more than a college player. But there are some players that are better on a college level than they are a professional level. Because that's where the minor leagues come in.
Exactly. Because I've never seen a player that has either won a Heisman Trophy award or won some kind of award or a title in collegiate level and has not won a Super Bowl. I think of probably one person that just popped up in my head.
And that is?
Probably Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning never won a Heisman Trophy?
No, a title in the collegiate level.
Oh, a title.
Either a Heisman Trophy or a title or some kind of award. Peyton Manning, and he probably did both. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm for sure there's quite a few of them, but we just don't know nothing about them.
Right, we don't know nothing about them.
We just didn't do the research on it. I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Yeah, but everybody that I could think of off the top of my head that's won Heisman's or won titles and stuff like that has not won a ring. Mm-hmm. And Russell Wilson has not won no type of titles, no Heisman's, no nothing, and won a Super Bowl.
He gonna win another one too.
Yeah, he gonna win one.
He gonna win another one.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't worried about that.
Oh yeah.
Without Marshawn Lynch.
Yes, he will.
He gonna win one.
It's gonna be hard.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be very hard.
But he gonna win one.
He gonna win one. Absolutely. Absolutely.
His faith is gonna get him there.
That's right.
His faith is gonna
His
get him there.
faith's gonna get him there.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. The second part of our rundown. Titans, the Tennessee Titans, they waived the backup quarterback, Zach Mittenberger. Now, when I did this at the time, he was just waived. And as of a few days ago, it was announced that he signed to the San Diego Chargers. Am I correct?
That's right.
Yeah, he signed to the San Diego Chargers. Mm-hmm. Opinions, thoughts Was this a good move? Was this a bad move for Tennessee to waive him and then San Diego pick him up?
I'm sorry, Darren, but this is not the right question to really ask here in this part of the podcast. The better question is, will he have a chance in the NFL again? That's the better question.
Okay. And what's your
Because he entered his third year in the NFL. His stats stink. That's why the Titans waived him. He has not accomplished a thing. This is just like another Jamarcus Russell episode. He has not accomplished a thing as a starting quarterback with the Tennessee Titans. And I'm thinking that San Diego picked him up because they needed to fill that roster spot. The only way I feel that Mettenberger is going to get his shot preseason and when Phillip Rivers get hurt. And it's not very often, that Phillip Rivers get hurt. Now, if Phillip Rivers is still playing on the team, I haven't heard much about it, then maybe that's a different story. He will get a shot because he'll probably be a starting quarterback. But if Phillip Rivers is still with San Diego Chargers, he's in trouble. He's in trouble.
I don't think so. I do not think so. I think this is a very good opportunity for him being with the San Diego Chargers because he gets to be mentored under Phillip Rivers. He didn't get the opportunity that Jamarcus Russell didn't get because Jamarcus Russell probably had a hard head.
Well, he didn't have nobody either to mentor him.
Oh, he didn't have nobody to Oakland, they didn't even have a quarterback when he first came into the league. They didn't even have a quarterback then. And in this same situation, Tennessee didn't have a quarterback.
I just feel that with Mettenberger go to San Diego, he's just not going to learn much from.
I think he will.
No, I don't think so.
Look at all these other. Where do you think all these other quarterbacks came from? Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe.
What? They came from Phillip Rivers?
No, they came from an elite quarterback that they had an opportunity to be mentored under. Aaron Rodgers being with Brett Favre, mentored under him. Tom Brady being mentored under Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe was a good quarterback.
He was, but Mettenberger.
He had nobody from being in. No, Phillip Rivers is a very elite quarterback.
He's a very elite quarterback, but guess what? He is very used to the fame now. What are his odds of him mentoring a young quarterback? This is another Jay Cutler and his backup situation. Didn't want no part of the mentoring of a young quarterback. Nothing of the sort. Because he gotten used to all spotlights being on him. I think it's going to be the same way with Phillip Rivers.
Hey, I got news for you. Just because you ain't mentor somebody in their face don't mean you mentoring them in other ways. Just because Phillip Rivers is just because it's in your position, just because Phillip Rivers is not doing it to his face, not teaching him anything, do not mean that he is watching him on that football field and taking notes that way.
So you're thinking that Phillip Rivers suggested Mettenberger to be picked up? Go to the Chargers?
No, not at all. I think that was GM. I think that was GM and head coach. I think they seen something in that young rookie that nobody else seen.
I think they were desperate.
I don't think they were desperate.
They was desperate.
If they were, why would they be that desperate to fill in a quarterback slot? If they were really that desperate, they just could have picked somebody and saved off the salary cap for that.
Mettenberger.
No, Mettenberger would not, because Mettenberger is still fresh into the league.
I hope he don't become a jack off like
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say Jamarcus Russell.
Oh,
Because he's been popped up a lot here. If this was Twitter, he'd be trending. But just saying, but yeah, Mettenberger. I just think that in this case, even though that he still has a lot of ways to go.
Oh, he do.
But I feel that with Mettenberger, he's really going to have somebody outside of the NFL to mentor him.
And I think it's going to be his quarterback's coach.
I'm thinking no. I'm
Not
waiting.
even on the outside level. I think his quarterback coach is going to help him mentor. Because if it ain't Phillip Rivers, it's probably going to be him.
I'm thinking outside the box here. I'm thinking Phil Sims. I'm thinking Dan Marino. I'm thinking Terry Bradshaw. I'm thinking of them, the type of mentoring that he's going to need, and not Philip Rivers.
Okay, that's true. That's absolutely true. I'm not going to knock that. Forget it. I mean, it don't have to be Phillip Rivers, but I am with the San Diego Chargers, and I thought it was a good move to pick him up.
Mm-mm.
I do. I think it was a good move
Good
because
move.
I think he's going to turn himself in better than what Jamarcus Russell done.
Okay. I don't think so because if Tennessee would have gave Mettenberger a chance, and Mettenberger with DeMarco Murray coming in to Tennessee, that would have been an open door opportunity for him to, like I said, DeMarco Murray. No, DeMarco Murray is a good running back, and this would have opened doors for Mettenberger to start off in the basics of play action and growing from there. Then the mentor would have came in from quarterback coach or whoever else. But in this case, Mettenberger going to San Diego, I don't think that was a very good move.
I thought it was. I mean, just because, I mean, looking at his stats here, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 935 yards, and 66.7 rating. Yeah, I get that. But, he was a. I don't even have it on here. I thought it was on here. Um, I thought it would have had his draft picks and stuff. I don't remember what draft pick he was in or anything like that, but around it wasn't nothing like that.
I know
But
he was probably like a 2012, 13.
yeah, it was in 2000, took it his third season.
Yeah.
But I just don't remember his draft pick and his round number.
I don't remember either.
But just looking at him, I believe he has potential for him to be somebody because he don't look like he's a bad guy.
I mean, he's not a bad guy at all.
And I believe that would give him more. I believe he's more humbled into accepting and learning things. And I think the San Diego Chargers see the same thing that I'm seeing. And I think that's a good opportunity for him to step in and be a franchise quarterback when Phillip Rivers leave. I think that's what they're trying to set up for.
And that's a good point. But I think at this point is that they should have drafted a sleeper. They should have drafted a sleeper quarterback wise, and they should have worked him up from there. Bringing Mettenberger from Tennessee, I don't think the transition is going to really drill him in the head because of the different type of situations that he had to deal with in Tennessee, and then you going to San Diego and a veteran quarterback. To me, that's just not. That wouldn't be, in my personal opinion, a smart move for San Diego to pick up a guy like Mettenberger, where they just could have picked up a sleeper in the draft.
Technically, to me, he would be a sleeper in the draft. Although this is his third season, he technically is a sleeper.
Well, he is a sleeper, but he's already been a starter in the NFL. He's already played 2 years.
Right, but I mean, even if he has just only played 2 years, you technically look at it. If he has not played those 2 years, he would be a sleeper. He would be a sleeper.
Yeah, because Tennessee didn't have no quarterback, and they relied on him. And like I said in the previous episode, they don't take these drafts too seriously. And I felt that Mettenberger could have had his chance.
You really want to know what I think the problem was? I don't think they wanted to adjust to his style of learning. Sometimes if you want a quarterback to succeed, you have to be able to let him learn in the way he needs to learn. And I think this was the problem with Tennessee, and I think they failed to do that. And I think San Diego would help him learn a lot better than what Tennessee has. Because somebody came in and who's the new quarterback now?
For who?
Tennessee.
I have no clue.
Whoever it is, I don't know who it is because I've never even bothered to pay attention to Tennessee. But whoever it is, he came in, learned quicker, and evidently he's now made the starting quarterback. For him to come in and learn something right off the bat versus him not being able to pick up as quickly, I think needed time. And I think he needed time to develop because there is no NFL rookie that I know of could really win games as quickly as somebody like Andrew Luck or Russell Wilson or somebody like them. They picked up the game pretty quickly. They learned the playbook pretty quickly. Now, as you've seen, they started to have their downs going into their second and third season. They started no, Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck. They started throwing more picks. They started doing a whole lot of stupid stuff. You take a quarterback, you get in his head, get him to learn. He'll be an elite quarterback. He will be one of them. Give it time. Give it time. He will be one of them.
Okay. My thing is with that is Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck are still with the same team. Okay, Russell Wilson's still with the Seahawks.
Because they still have faith in them. They didn't have faith in this man.
See, and that's my problem. So now you want to go to San Diego, and San Diego's going to pick them up. What if they see the same problem Tennessee has?
I don't think they will see. I don't think they will have that problem.
I think they will have that problem.
No, they won't, because he's not performing. He's not performing.
That's why Denver and the New York Jets had the same problem with Tim Tebow. That's why he's not in the NFL. Because Tim Tebow, he wanted to learn his way, but they didn't want to accept that. They didn't want to accept that at all. So that's why he is out of the NFL. And the only way that Tim Tebow's going to get his chance is if he actually learn the NFL system.
I'm not saying to demand to learn his way, learn his learning style of learning and apply it to the way that you want him to play.
I mean, I'm not interjecting to that. I'm not saying that
Tim Tebow probably came in and said, "Hey, this is how I learn. If you can't handle it, get rid of me."
I mean, I'm quite sure it wasn't the same way with Mettenberg either, because I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying that if you're going to take a man that has not performed well in Tennessee and then shift him over to San Diego because you think you see something in him, and then it backfires, what are you going to do?
We ain't going to know anything if he's going to backfire or not, because he's not performing right now. Now he's
not, since he's backing up Phillip Rivers.
Nothing wrong with that, because that's a mentoring process. Nothing wrong with that. Because it's a mentoring process for him to sit down and to be able to be given the chance to learn and see how things work. This is his chance.
He got his chance, but I don't think it's going to go well.
Because he goes straight to Tennessee. Well. He may not have picked up the playbook style that Tennessee was doing. He may pick up better with San Diego.
He could. I'm not ruling that out either. But I just don't think it's...
Because see, the problem with Tim Tebow was that he was so college oriented that they had to try to adjust to his learning style and running college playbooks. Don't nobody want to run college playbooks in the NFL. Every player on that football field been through a college level. Most of them has been through that. So don't nobody want to learn college play. But yeah, they're going to bring some of the coaches are going to bring college plays into the NFL. But they're not going to want to do a whole playbook of college stuff.
But Mettenberger, when Mettenberger came in, he wasn't in the collegiate style like Tim Tebow was.
And that's my point. He has potential.
And he does have potential. But the issue is, even though he doesn't have that collegiate type of style like Tim Tebow, the problem is that he is still struggling right now up to this point, and probably will continue when he's in San Diego to learn the NFL style.
It's gonna take. That's what I said. Just give him time, and that's all he needs.
I just don't think San Diego's the right place for him.
I didn't think Tennessee was the right place for him with the way his stats look. He wasn't the right place.
Tennessee wasn't the right place for me.
He needs to, and I think San Diego will be a good spot for him because he's a young quarterback and they already have a young team. Why not? What team do you prefer him to be on? What team do you think that he would fit under?
In my personal opinion, I may be wrong. I may be wrong when I say this, but in my personal opinion, the Falcons. I think the Falcons.
Why the Falcons?
Because the Falcons, in my personal opinion, are smash mouth. And this is something that that Mettenberger has not even adjusted to yet. You know how when you get your first sack and then you get your kinks out and stuff like that. I just feel at that point that all the NFC teams has that type of team of smash mouth, and I think he can learn better that way to be able to mix up his learning styles and learn different things outside the box. That's what I think personally.
So you don't think San Diego would do that now? No. Only Atlanta would do something like that?
No, I'm not saying Atlanta is the only team to do that. I'm thinking any NFC team would do that. But I'm just thinking Atlanta would be a good fit for him.
I think San Diego might be a good fit.
I can't see that.
I can see San Diego being a good fit.
We'll see this season and see how they do.
It's on tape.
Yep.
For that.
It's on tape, Pippen.
It'll be on tape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now it is time for my interesting facts and information for the month of May. Today is also a part of the critical thinking analysis. Tried to tie them in. Wasn't a whole lot, but I did what I could to try to tie it in with today's critical thinking analysis. But there's just a couple other things that just was on here that I thought I'd share before I went on to do that. May 1st, 1980. I don't know why I put this on here, but it's something to learn. This is for, younger people to learn.
Okay.
Dallas is granted an expansion franchise in 1980, and the Mavericks brings the total number of NBA teams to 23 on that day, May 1st.
So at that point, May 1st, 1980, there was only 23 teams in the NBA?
They made the 23rd.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
May 2nd, 2005, the NBA fines Houston Rockets then coach Jeff Van Gundy $100,000, the largest amount ever for a coach. A day after accusing officials of targeting center Yao Ming during the playoffs.
7'6", 7'7". Why not?
I'll tackle too. Tack Shaq every chance I get.
Heck yeah, them tall cats.
Yeah, you don't want to play with them.
Ooh.
May 4th, 1994. This day sound familiar?
You got something to do with Reggie Miller?
No.
No?
I'm surprised you don't know. I thought it would have popped right up in your head. Because this is one of our favorite performances by one of a player that we found a very good forward. May 4th, 1994.
Oh, Barkley?
Charles Barkley of the Phoenix Suns hit 23 of 31 field goal attempts and finished with 56 points.
Oh, yeah. Against the Golden State Warriors.
Leading the visiting Suns to a 140-133 win over the Golden State Warriors in a 3-game sweep of their Western Conference first-round series.
He tore him up that game.
He did.
Barkley tore him up.
Man, I love when he was just hitting those threes.
I mean, he was just hitting threes left and right. And he was hurt.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yes, he was hurt.
Barkley's 56 points tied for the third highest total ever in an NBA playoff game and hit 38 points in the first half to set a record. Wow. At that time. Sleepy Floyd holds the second half scoring record in the NBA playoffs with 39 points, which he scored in Golden State's 129-121 home win over the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 4 of the 1987 Western Conference semifinals.
And Sleepy Floyd was playing for the Warriors at the time?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
May 5th. Okay, now here's the tying in of the critical thinking analysis. Okay. May 5th, 1981. Actually, before I even go to that, let me just do this one that's not in relation. Actually, it's two of them that's not in relation. May 29th, 1995. That day sound familiar? It should be.
Man, this sounds like either games 3 or 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Pacers and the Magic.
Rick Spitz of Indiana switched a foul line jumper with no time left on the clock to lead the host Pacers to a 94-93 win over Orlando in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Prior to Smith's game-winning shot, the lead had changed hands 3 times. over the final 13.3 seconds with Indiana's Reggie Miller's three-point shot and Orlando's Brian Shaw's and Anthony Hardaway all nailing three-point field goals.
Got it on tape.
On tape, never forgotten.
Yep, got it on tape.
And May 31st, 1991. This date may not sound familiar to you.
Yeah, it really don't.
New York Knicks named Pat Riley head coach.
You know what? And I find that funny because when ESPN did their version of the announcement with Magic Johnson, that's when I happened to see a clip on there. I happened to buy it on iTunes, and I seen that Pat Riley and Magic Johnson had a conversation, and Pat Riley was like, "Hey, it's time for me to move on." And that on that.
Yep. May 31st, 1991.
Yep.
And May 31st has not come yet.
Not yet.
Let's see here. May 5th, 1981. Larry Bird of the Boston Celtics anticipated that his jumper from the right of the key during Game 1 of the 1981 NBA Finals against Houston was going to be off target. Raced to the right baseline, grabbed the rebound with his right hand, switched the ball into his left hand as his momentum was taking him out of bounds and somehow laid it in the basket. Red Archibald called it the greatest plays he has ever seen, both for Bird's physical ability to make a shot and his basketball instinct to get into position for the rebound.
Yes.
The Celtics won that game 98-95 and went on to take that series in 6 games.
Yes.
May 5th, 2000. Portland Trailblazers assistant coach Bill Musselman died in the morning from complications from this. I have no idea what this is. Forgive me for this. I don't know how to pronounce this, but I just could tell you that it's a disease affecting the liver. If anybody know what that is, please pronounce to me what that is, because I have no clue what it is. I tried to get that pronunciation, but it just did not work out for me. He was the Mayo Clinic of Rochester, Minnesota. A moment of silence was observed at the Rose Garden on Sunday, May 7th, before the Trailblazers' 94-75 victory over Utah in Game 1. Golly, it's about to glue them out.
Yeah.
Of their Western Conference semifinal series. The 59-year-old Musselman, a former NBA head coach with the Minnesota Timberwolves, was his 3rd season with the Trailblazers. May 22nd, 1988. And that don't sound familiar to you either. I don't know if you really even paying attention to this game.
No.
Dominique Wilkins and Larry Bird traded buckets for bucket in the 4th quarter of Game 7 of the 1988 Eastern Conference semifinals until Boston escaped with a 118-116 victory. Wilkins finished with 47 points and Bird had 34, with 20 of his points tallied in the 4th quarter. The basket was like a well-remembered Wilkins. I couldn't miss. He couldn't miss. That's the greatest game I've ever played in or seen played. It was 2 guys who just did not want to lose. The team shot a combined 59% from the field, the 2nd highest mark in playoff history.
Wow. That must have been a good game.
Yeah, it was. From what I hear, yes. I didn't get to look at that game, of course.
Me either.
May 26, 1987. That sound familiar
Nope.
to you? Boston's Larry Bird stole an inbound pass from Detroit's Isaiah Thomas and fled over his shoulder into a cutting Dennis Johnson for the winning basket, and the Celtics pulled out an improbable 108-107 win over Detroit in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, because they had that game beat. Detroit had that game beat.
Mm-hmm. And lastly but not least, May 28th, 1986, Boston forward Larry Bird won his 3rd consecutive NBA Most Valuable Player. He joined Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain as the only players to win 3 consecutive NBA MVP awards. That is interesting facts and information for the month of May. Courtesy of NBA.com/history this day, May.
Interesting.
Okay, this is our break in the show. What's on your mind? This is our time to fire. What's on your mind?
I'm still trying to get over that team name that you said before we got on the show. What was the name of that team? that you saw on Facebook?
Oh, Gambino's Pizza.
I cannot believe that. I thought that was an actual name store of a pizza.
I thought it was too.
And you said it was a softball team?
It's a softball team. That's a new one to me.
Gambino's Pizza.
Yes, Gambino's Pizza.
That made me hungry.
I bet it did. You
No,
want to go ahead and look up the ketchup that's left on my plate then?
No, I got ketchup at home. Thank you. I got it at home. I don't need to lick it off of yours. I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I just got pizza in the house, but I'm stuck on this diet, and I gotta wait till Wednesday.
Ugh. I remember that. 20 days of detoxing.
Mm-hmm.
Not fun.
It's not fun, but I gotta do it, baby.
Totally understand.
I gotta do it.
Totally
You
understand.
know how it is.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Yep. I have nothing on my mind. Not an absolute
never
solid thing.
You never do.
Except I'm hot.
I am too.
I'm hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
It's
cold
cold
in a
hot
minute.
here.
Yeah.
It's a small building.
Small, yeah. I'm going to get cold once I put the air on. It'll get cold real quickly.
Absolutely.
And I'll be freezing for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yep, just be ready for our date.
Oh, you better believe it. I got gloves over here.
You gonna put gloves on while we playing this game?
Why not? I got gloves over here. So this is... Yes, I got gloves.
What kind of gloves are they?
They're originally supposed to be for using for cell phones, but I'm gonna use it to keep my hands warm while we're playing that game, and to have a good grip on the controller. I can use it to get on the phone and
You can't even open it.
no, they made this thing childproof.
Wow.
Oh, that's why.
Oh,
It's supposed to. It's stuck. Okay, it's sticky, but it's supposed to be used to
That looks like something that
for
commit
biking.
murder.
Oh my goodness.
It does. It's a zipper. Look at that.
Yeah, it's used. Let's see. When I was supposed to have start riding my bike to work. Oh my gosh, I was supposed to have used this to ride my bike and go to work to. You know, to and from work. I was supposed to have this and the bicycle tights and the bike itself and the cell phone holders to put the cell phone on, and there was something else. I had a helmet and the biker lights. Supposed to have all that.
And that all came in a.
That all came
Kit
individually,
package?
and I paid for them individually.
Oh wow.
So it's supposed to serve as my, you know, to be. Well, I don't think I can use my thumb on that. Of course I can't. So I have to see. I could, you know, do
That.
what I need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. But keeps my hands warm.
I'm sure it does.
Keeps my hands warm. So you know, can't complain. So
See what I know.
I'm gonna use it.
Cool.
All right. So that's what's on our minds, and that was my personal mini-series story.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
To keep myself fit and active, which messed up on me because my
Your bike is.
inner tube busted, but I'm still mad at that.
You can easily get that fixed up.
I can. Problem is, it's something called
Money.
lazy.
Oh, lazy.
Yeah, lazy. So
Yeah.
that's what's on our minds. That's what we had today. Now
All right.
we can head on to our headline discussions. And this is probably going to be one of the quickest too. Starting with Nate McMillan. Nate McMillan was recently promoted as the Indiana Pacers' new head coach. He was an associate coach, I think, for
Yes.
I want to say it was 2 or 3 seasons. 3 seasons.
Mhm.
He spent the last 3 seasons as associate head coach right after Brian Shaw left, and Nate McMillan has taken over duties of assistant head coach and been it pretty much since then. That being said, good move or bad move?
Okay. I am going to consider this a bad move.
So am I, Pep.
So,
So am I.
but that's not my focus point of this whole thing. My problem is that I watched the press conference the minute that they released Frank Vogel, and Larry Bird said it. It is time for a new voice. It's time for new leadership to come into the locker room. Well, it sure ain't Nate McMillan.
That's not
He's
new.
been coming into the same locker room for 3 years. It ain't Nate McMillan. What is it that is a new voice to this? Really? Think about it.
No, you're right.
What is it that you hear a new voice from? Here's my thing. I think something went down between Frank Vogel and Larry Bird. Something went down. I'm pretty sure all of us know what it is. But, change it to the point, evidently Bird didn't like the way he was coaching. That's how I see that.
Which is the reason why I made my statement during the last show. Not this show, not the previous show, but the other show.
Mm-hmm.
I made a valid point. I think it was one of those times I made a valid point. If you are looking to be an NBA head coach, do not go to the Indiana Pacers, as you will not be coaching. You will be listening to a coach and you will just be relaying messages.
Yep. So just if you really think that you're fit for this job, this is what you do. Know nothing. Get paid.
Yep.
To watch free games.
Yep.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I would do.
That's what I would do. I'm like, look, Bird want this, Bird want that. I'm just gonna sit back and watch it.
Yep.
That's all I'm doing. If we don't make the playoffs,
that's on Bird. Until Bird can put trust in me. Until Bird can put trust in me. No. Mm-hmm. This is Bird's fault.
Yep. It's Bird's fault. You know. So
I have a problem with him when he says, I have faith in this person. You have faith in Frank Vogel. What happened? Stop saying that. Just stop.
And here's another thing that kills me. Like I said, I love Larry Bird dearly.
Oh, I love him too.
I love Larry Bird dearly. But I have a problem with him. My problem with him is that when he was an NBA player, he would take advice from upper management, general manager, vice president for basketball operations, stuff like that. Same position he's in now, he would take advice from upper management from the Celtics. Mm-hmm. And he started taking their advice. Well, Bird, I got news for you. Some advices just don't work for you. You got to work what's best for you. Because if you feel that just because the Celtics president, vice president for basketball operations, or whoever it is, did this, and it worked for them because they got championships and you got rings too, that don't mean it's going to work for you. Mm-hmm. It hasn't worked. I don't think it ever will work. So you need to find a new strategy. Throw that advice that you had from your upper management from the 80s, throw that crap in the garbage, and you need to find a new way for you to be able to have more faith in your coaching staff and yourself. That's just how I feel.
I got advice. I got advice for Larry Bird for him to be able to do that.
Step down?
No. Oh, God, no. You ain't got to do that. I got even a better strategy
for
him in order for him to, have that, he need with you said to, what was the advice
throw that advice that they had from the 80s from his management, throw that in the garbage? Yeah.
What advice, or try to find a new strategy?
Try to find a new strategy for and working for yourself.
Yeah, I got it. Let the coach handle it.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
Let them handle it.
Yeah, let them handle it. You're exactly right.
That's the best advice you can get.
Yeah. You got them for a reason. You should continue coaching. And then you say you're not fit for a coach. Why did you step down if you did 3 years and you felt you weren't the coach? But then you want to go up and be vice president of basketball operations and think you're a coach. Stop that mess.
I know.
Cut it out.
I know. These people don't realize what they say, but they still go right back and do what they've been doing for years.
They do it for years. And they don't realize it.
Mm-mm. And so then with Nate McMillan being promoted, what happened for Nate McMillan to get promoted? Frank Vogel got released of his duties. Now, again, when I was writing this, he was just a free agent coach. There was talks of him going to New York. When writing this, he was going to New York.
Mm-hmm.
What were the possibilities that he was going to New York? Well, when I got done writing, news came out and said, "Hey, Frank Vogel signing to Orlando." Huh? Where did this come from?
Where did that come
First
from?
thing that struck me, Frank Vogel getting fired, yeah, okay. And then, he's going to have talks with Phil Jackson and going to New York. Next thing I know, I see two different headlines. Oh, Jeff Hornacek going to be named new coach, and Frank Vogel going to be named new coach for Orlando. Okay, wait a minute. Where in the news did I miss that Jeff Hornacek was even lined up for an interview?
You know what?
I didn't even see it.
See, and you might be right because I don't think it's still true either. Because I'm looking at this, it's updated May 20th, 2016, 5:37. This was updated yesterday. They still have, as the New York Knicks coach, interim, Kurt Rambis.
See, I did not hear anything in the news talking about that Jeff Hornacek was even lined up for a coaching interview for the Knicks.
So
Where did this come from?
It could be false. That's what I'm thinking. It could be false. I don't know.
Look, I'm just going to leave it as this. They do what they want, but right now, until it is official, I don't know.
Yeah.
If Jeff Hornacek is the new head coach, great, fabulous, okay. But Frank Vogel, now I know for a fact that Frank Vogel is the new Orlando Magic's head coach. Is that a good move or not?
Okay. I don't even have an answer for that. I didn't even go say yes or no.
I do.
But I will say this. With Larry Bird out of his face, this is going to test his ability to be able to run a team
By himself.
by himself. The management is going to trust him and have faith in him, like Larry Bird didn't, to run the Orlando Magic. So this is going to be able to test him to see if he's a good coach or not. But, like I said, I really don't have an answer for it. I really don't have an answer if this would be a good move for Orlando. But Orlando do have good talent, so you never could rule out the possibility that this was a good move. You never rule that out.
I thought it was a good move. It gets, like you said, it gets Larry Bird out of his face, and here's another reason why I say it would be a good move. Because it would be consistent with good performances. Now, I'm not saying, here's what I am going to say. I don't believe or I don't see any reason that Orlando will win a championship anytime soon.
Right.
But I will see success in them. They are going to come in to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, and the Pacers are going to go into Amway Center, and Orlando is going to beat the snot out of them.
Yep.
Because Nate McMillan is going to be controlled by a man sitting way up at the top of the bleachers, trying to coach a team from up there. Orlando is going to give a butt spanking to the Indiana Pacers. That's
and Orlando's already been beating the Pacers lately too. So
yeah, and it ain't gonna make it no better. With Frank Vogel being a coach.
And guess what? It's still going to be pain for the state of Indiana.
Oh yeah.
There will still be pain in the state of Indiana.
Because they're going to sit there and say, oh, we never should have got rid of Frank Vogel. No, Larry Bird should just not pretend that he's a coach.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Stick to your duties, man.
Yeah, just stick to your duties.
Stick to your duties.
Just stick to your duties. So, Frank Vogel being named head coach for the new Orlando Magic. And congratulations to him and many successes to come, because I know he will have some success coming out of that. And Scott Skiles. What happened for Frank Vogel to get that job? Scott Skiles stepped down as head coach. He stepped down. So, what does that mean for him in a coaching position?
This is just what I put, to be honest. I don't think it's going nowhere. I just think if there was hidden drama in Orlando that we know nothing about, he don't want to be a coach. That's just how I see it. But if it was my choice, if he wanted to actually coach and he wanted to go somewhere, let it be the Grizzlies. Let it be the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the way I see this and the way that this is turning is that he stepped down. He felt he wasn't a good coach. So I don't know. He may not go anywhere. He may not coach again because he did have stints with Milwaukee, and that went south too.
According to ESPN.com, they came out with this story, and this is what Scott Skiles said to them. After much thought and careful consideration, I and I alone have come to the conclusion that I am not the right head coach for this team. Skiles said this in a statement released by the team. Therefore, effective immediately, I resign my position as head coach of the Orlando Magic. I realize this type of decision can cause much speculation. The reality, though, is in the first sentence. It is simple and it's true. Any other rumors are pure conjecture. I sincerely apologize for any unintended consequences that I may adversely affect anyone associated within this decision. The Magic is a world-class organization that employs world-class people. I wish them nothing but great success. I will always be thankful, especially to the DeVito's family, for the opportunity. He told the Orlando Magic that he was not the right coach for that team. He realized it before he went anywhere near going to his second season. That's a statement released from Scott Skiles himself.
So do you think that he will actually head coach anywhere else?
Yes, he will, but I just don't think it's going to be right now. I think he's going to try to see what team's going to fit his system and
Well,
coaching.
there's only 2 vacant spots. Well, I mean, if Jeff Hornacek is with New York, I was getting ready to say 3, but who knows? But for what I know, it's 2 spots. Assuming that Hornacek got the coaching job in New York, there's 2 vacant spots left, and that is the Grizzlies and the Rockets. So they're the only 2 he could really pick from, unless they start doing some cleaning of houses
and
for some teams. But other than that,
but I see him still coaching, but I just think it's going to take a little while before he actually. He's probably going to wait for an opportunity, just like what Brad Stevens did.
right.
And I think that's what Scott Skiles is going to do in this particular situation, because he don't want to land himself in the wrong team, all because of his rushing and rash decisions. So,
yeah,
that would be that on that behalf.
yes, sir.
Them are the head coach vacancies and fill-ins and what's going on with the NBA, and for the NBA, the Western and Eastern Conference predictions. Who do you have?
Well, first of all, I didn't even have OKC going on to the Western Conference Finals. I originally had Golden State and San Antonio. But,
Bomber.
yeah. Well, actually, I think San Antonio got cheated out of that one.
Hey, man.
I think they got cheated out of that one. But at this point, I see Golden State. They're kind of struggling right now, but I see them winning this series.
Cavs and Raptors.
Oh, Cavs and Raptors, which I did predict right there. It's going to be Cavs and Raptors. And I think Cleveland's going to take them at 6.
Okay. For the Western Conference, I got Golden State. They're going to go ahead and finish off OKC in 7. And Cleveland's going to sweep Toronto. They're going to sweep them.
Yeah. That sounds
Toronto
right.
cannot handle.
Yeah, they cannot handle right now. They
cannot handle.
Man,
they cannot handle.
They look gas.
Yeah. So when it comes down to the NBA Finals, what Toronto looked like with Cleveland is what Cleveland gonna look like with Golden State. Golden State gonna tear them up still. Golden State is not gonna change against Cleveland.
And that's what.
But they're gonna take them into 7.
Game. That's when they're gonna lose their first game.
They're gonna take them into 7. Golden State gonna take them into 7 because Cleveland gonna keep up with them up until the final game and the final possession of Game 7.
Yeah.
Game 7.
Yeah. The Cavs are in the state of they're more hungrier now. Kevin Love's getting more involved, and then
Kyrie Irving's getting more involved.
Kyrie Irving's getting more involved. LeBron James is unfortunately getting involved. Like I said, not a fan of Cleveland. Don't like Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like. Well, I just don't like LeBron James. Period. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not a big
So
fan
any
of
team
him.
he goes to, I don't like the team.
I'm not a big fan of him.
I'm not a big fan of him. I just don't like LeBron James.
Right.
And it'd be nice to see Toronto go, but it's just not going to happen.
Okay, that's our predictions. Tom Coughlin wanting to return to the NFL, but probably not with the Giants. What would it take for him to get to that position?
He deserves another chance.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, I really don't think he really has to do anything.
Mm-mm.
2 Super Bowl rings speaks for itself.
Actually, let me tell you something else about that. Not only the 2 Super Bowl rings, but how he started out that season when he won the Super Bowl is what did the trick for me.
Yeah.
I'll pick him up in a hot minute. Hey,
Oh,
come
me
on
too.
to my team. You know what? My team needs some discipline too. Why you rather slap out a little bit of discipline too?
Absolutely.
You know, I don't see why not.
I don't either, dear.
I don't see why it's even so much of a hesitation for a head coach vacancy spot for Tom Coughlin not to even be filled in. Look what he did with Jacksonville when they first had their expansion here in 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Why
And of
not?
course, with the Giants, twice.
Yeah, twice. Why not?
This
Why
time.
not?
Everybody should be like, oh man, we got Tom Coughlin. Come on.
Let's
We
get
got to get him. We got to get him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have been doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Shoot, that's just me.
Okay. Tom Coughlin. Obviously, it don't take much. He ain't got to do too much to.
No, he don't.
You don't have to do too much.
No.
You
He
just
ain't
have
gotta
to
do
wait
too
for
much.
that phone
Just
call from
relax and
somebody.
Just wait for the opportunity, man.
Yep, just wait for the opportunity. Yep, and I agree with that. Just wait for the opportunity to come.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to pick you up.
Somebody gonna get him.
Somebody's going to get him. They just have to wait for the right opportunity time to do it.
Absolutely.
So, we'll see how that works
We'll
out.
see how that works,
We
man.
will stay updated with that, too.
Absolutely.
Now it's time for Quizmania. Question of the day. Miscellaneous part 2. I just kind of got through because I went and got my answer in a book.
In a book, and it's nowhere near on the internet. I only got a few bits and bits of information.
What month, date, and year was the New England Patriots versus the San Francisco 49ers game postponed? Why was it postponed? And what date was it changed to?
Okay. Now, I did not get the month, date, and year was when the game was postponed. Now, I did get why it was postponed because of earthquake damage.
Mm-hmm.
And the date, I believe, if I'm right, it was changed to October 22nd of 89.
October. That was the game. Actually, that was the game it was originally scheduled.
It was
for.
scheduled the 22nd.
It was supposed
okay, so I
to-
figured that part out there. So I don't know what year. I don't know what it changed to.
The change, I still don't even know that myself. Now that I look at it, the change.
And you put that on Quizmania?
I did
Oh.
because I read it wrong. The change date was announced October 19th. The earthquake happened October 17th.
So 5 days earlier.
Oh, I see. No, here it is. Yeah, I got it right. What happened was that the game was still scheduled for the 22nd. FYI, they moved to Stanford Stadium to play that game. On
Oh,
October
yeah, I
22nd.
could have gotten that had I knew.
Had I knew, I just not read this thoroughly. I just seen it and voted. I was sleepy and ready to go to bed.
Wow. Come on.
I was just kind of worn out that day.
Of course.
But yeah, it was scheduled for the 22nd at Candlestick Park. It was switched to Stanford Stadium in aftermath of the Bay Area earthquake on October 17th.
Yeah.
The change was announced on October 19th that they was going to move to Stanford Stadium.
And Stanford is still in California.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's where Andrew Luck came from.
Yes, he did. And Kobe Fleener.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kobe Fleener. Yeah,
Kobe Fleener.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Quizmania of the day, brought to you by nobody.
We're brought to you by us.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that.
That's true.
So now on to more bigger things. Critical thinking and analyzing stats, the last part of the show. And by the way, you're listening to Double Take Sports Talk with Daryl and Darren Watts. We're in the last segment of the show. Critical thinking and analysis. Looking at the 4 greatest shooters of all time being Larry Bird, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and what else? Stephen Curry. Who do you believe had the edge in shooting the basketball?
I think I'm going to get killed when I say this.
Then again,
and
you
I may not. But I say this for a strong purpose and a reason. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying this because somebody's going to show out or they just doing it just to perform. But who got the edge? Larry Bird.
Thank you. I
Larry
thought
Bird.
me and you was gonna have a big fight about that, but actually this time, no, I agree. It's
Larry
going to
Bird.
be Larry Bird. 'Cause Larry Bird is the only player that I can think of that won the 3-point shootout championships in 3 straight years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Edge in shooting the basketball.
Yeah.
Larry Bird can handle the pressure. Larry Bird can just hit for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no arguing.
There's
that
no
to me.
arguing. Larry Bird, straight up.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Ray Allen, Reggie
Boy,
Miller.
That was tough, but
They
Larry
are.
Bird.
But Larry Bird is actually the one that has the better edge in shooting.
Yes, he does.
Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and Stephen Curry cannot hit like that under pressure like Larry Bird can.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Bird could do it better than all 3 of them combined together. Now, although Larry Bird did not have any records in 3-point shootings or anything like
Nothing
that,
like that. And he's ranked, from what I've known, 576
but Larry
in
Bird,
3-point shooting.
but Larry Bird can shoot.
He can shoot.
He can
And he
shoot.
shoots when he needs to.
Mhm.
Not to be clowning or you just feel that you need to get a record. You shoot when you need to.
And that's what Larry Bird did, which is why I respect his game. Now, Reggie Miller, he did the same thing Larry Bird did.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Allen, he did the same thing Reggie Miller and Larry Bird did.
Yeah.
Stephen Curry, he does it to clown.
Yeah, he does.
He does it to clown.
Yes, he
When
does.
you look at it, and when you look at his videos, that's what he does.
That's
He
what
does
he
it to clown.
That's the clown.
You know, and to me, I mean, that will make you a great shooter, but I like somebody that's going to shoot the ball with a purpose.
Right.
And Larry Bird's purpose was to draw a team in. Stephen Curry is to show off his skills to be able to shoot the ball. Because none of Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, and Ray Allen did not have the dribbles that Stephen Curry had to shoot the ball. They had the exact opposite of what Stephen Curry had, and that was
Coming up the
footwork.
screen. Yeah.
Footwork. They have footwork.
Larry Bird just had catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Or
Well, a lot
he
of people, in my personal opinion, a lot of people disrespected Larry Bird by leaving him open like that.
oh yes, they did.
They
They
disrespected him.
disrespected him. That's why he was the best trash talker in the game.
Yeah.
That's exactly why he was like, you know what, I'm tired of people disrespecting me. I'm going to tell everybody what I'm going to do. And that's exactly what he did to Xavier McDaniel. He said he was going to get the ball right there and he's going to shoot it. But forgot to mention he was going to pump fake. It was Daniel said, oops, sorry, forgot to mention I was going to pump fake.
The meanest trash talker in the
The
game.
meanest trash talker in the game.
Love now. That's another reason
good.
why.
I love it.
Because Stephen Curry don't talk too much when he shoot the ball. Larry Bird can talk and shoot. Reggie can talk and shoot. Ray Allen ain't got to talk and shoot. Ray Allen can just shoot and just show you by his actions how he does things.
Mhm. Sure does.
Ray Allen is one of my favorite all-time basketball players other than Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
But Larry Bird, he's a mentor to when and how to shoot the ball.
Absolutely.
He is.
Yes, he is.
Why do you think the Pacers was the greatest free throw shooting team in the NBA when he was coaching?
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. He turned
He even turned Dale Davis
to do a
around.
free throw.
Mhm.
Good free throw
He gave him a
shooter.
free throw shooter.
Him and Antonio Davis.
Yes. Taught them good.
They were forwards.
Yep. They needed to shoot.
They needed to shoot free throws. They were going to be in the paint all day.
Yep. They had to shoot free throws, and they know they had to rely on that forward.
See, that is the coaching skills of Larry Bird right there.
That's the coaching skill.
If you're going to apply that, be a coach again.
Be a
Do
coach.
not put that on somebody else.
Exactly.
You be in the front office.
You stick to what you got to do.
Although, from my understanding, that Larry Bird only did the overall coaching. Dick Carter did the defense, and Rick Carlisle did the offense.
Why not share some of your duties? They're all coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
So Dick Carter did defense. Rick Carlisle did offense.
You see, Dick Carter learned from Pat Riley.
Yes, he did.
That's why Larry Bird said, "Hey, I'm handing my defense over to you.
Mm-hmm. You could do the defense." That's why Bird never had no philosophy for him
defense.
or period.
Yeah.
He didn't have a philosophy.
Nope.
His philosophy was to motivate his players and teach them to keep their heads in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the best philosophy you can really teach.
Yeah, really, because that's what they're thinking about when they played the Chicago Bulls in the '98 playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals, when Michael Jordan went into the paint and drew contact, and Larry Bird's just sitting there looking at Michael Jordan like, man, I was out there on that. Because I know what you're doing, and it's making me mad, and I can't retaliate off of that.
Yes! 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 I remember that too.
I'm just saying.
Woo, yes!
All right, ladies and gentlemen. In case you missed it, we talked about the coaching moves and possibilities of the NBA, the Western and Eastern Conference Finals prediction, Tom Coughlin possibly returning to the NBA, and we talked about
NFL.
Russell. I'm sorry. Thank you. NFL. Thank you. I looked dead at it, said NFL, and I said NBA. Russell Wilson reported that the college coach said that he would not play in the NFL. Titans waving backup quarterback Zach Mittenberger, and was for San Diego a good pick for him to pick him up. Did the quiz mania and critical thinking for analyzing stats. Excuse me. That's another episode done, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to Double Take Sports Talk from Daryl Watts. I am Darren Watts. Thank you for listening. Join us again for another episode coming soon. The Watts brothers are officially gone.